Hello students, I am Dinesh Udupi and this is speciation uh, topic we are studying, and this is session 37. And here we are going to study, in this session we are going to study the isolation, geographical and reproductive. So what we studied in the 36th session, it is the continuation of the same topic, right? Now, isolation. What is isolation? Isolation is something between the organisms that they can't cross. Organisms become isolated as a result of environmental change. The cause of isolation can be gradual, like when mountains or deserts form or continents split apart. It can also be quick, such as organisms being blown to different places by a storm or tsunami. Now, isolation means when organisms will be separated from each other. So, this separation may be gradual, right? You just think of one population, many individuals are there, and if the individuals get separated due to the formation of a mountain, mountain formation will not happen suddenly. It takes thousands of years. It's a gradual process. Think of Himalaya, right? So before the formation of Himalayan mountains, the population was continuous. Now what happened? The appearance of Himalayan mountains separated those two populations, right? So the population which is present on that side and this side, they evolved separately because now they are facing different climatic conditions. But this is a gradual process. Or the formation of a river, right? During the course of geographical changes, a new river may appear, and it slowly divides the population into two separate groups. This is a gradual isolation. Desert, like desertification. So once a thick forest may then get converted into a desert. Just imagine there is a big forest, right? A vast area which is covered by forest, and due to some reasons, the middle portion gets converted into a desert. Now there are two forests which are separated by a desert, and the animals from one part of the forest cannot travel to the other part of the forest because there is a desert in between, which is very big and which cannot be passed. I mean, the animals cannot pass from this part to that part. So now this is isolation, and it is a very slow process. Or it may be very quick due to some environmental events like storm or tsunami. You just imagine there is a big storm. There are powerful storms when some microorganisms or some animals will be shifted from one place to the other place. Tidal waves, right? So the animals are swept away from one place to the other place in a very small fraction of time, right? Within few hours or within few days, the animals may be shifted to one place to other place. So the isolation. So now they become isolated, and they are going to develop separate characters. Now, geographical isolation. We already discussed about allopathic speciation, where the cause is geographical isolation. One best example here we are going to study. Geographic isolation is a type of reproductive isolation that occurs when a geographic barrier separates two populations of a species, causing speciation. Here what happens? The species, the members of a species get separated by a barrier, geographical barrier. Earlier, they were capable of interbreeding, but now there is a wall in between. The wall may be in the form of mountains, it may be rivers, it may be desert or oceans, right? Oceans, of course, you can also take that as an example. Now, the two the two groups of individuals which belong to the same species, same population, which can interbreed, now they are separated. If they are separated for a long time, now they become reproductively isolated. See, in the beginning they are isolated geographically, but remember, if it goes on for a long time, they get separated reproductively. So ultimately, geographical barrier leads to reproductive isolation. And after the reproductive isolation, if you bring those two individuals together, then they are not going to reproduce, they are not going to interbreed, they are not going to mate, because now they have already evolved into two different species, right? The main condition of different species is they do not interbreed. So geographical isolation is one of the important factor in the speciation, in the evolution in general, right? Uh, Here I have given the example of elephants, right? So you know there are two kinds of elephants exist on this earth. So one is Asian elephant, which is found in our country and neighboring Asiatic countries. Asian elephant, and this is the African elephant, which is very big, right? And it has got very large ears. So you can see here the African elephant, African elephant and Asian elephants have some differences. Earlier, they were uh, the members of same species, same population, right? What happened since they got separated by a geographical distance and they developed or they changed according to the environment where they lived. You just think of the Asiatic elephant, which is having small sized ears, the overall size is small, right? And because these are the adaptations which help it to survive in its condition. Whereas the African elephant, which mainly lives in hot climatic conditions, it has got a very large sized ears, you can see, and its size is also very big. Now, since it adapted to its existing conditions, since they are separated for a long time by the distance, geographical distance, and they were unable to interbreed, they evolved into two different species, one into African elephant and another one is Asian elephant. So that's how the speciation occurs due to geographical isolation. Then we have reproductive isolation. As I already mentioned in the previous session, reproductive isolation occurs in the population and the individuals are living in the same area. They share the same area, the same habitat, but they are not interbreeding with each other. Since they cannot interbreed with each other, you can consider it as reproductive isolation. The inability of species to breed successfully with related species due to geographical, behavioral, physiological or genetic barriers or differences. Reproductive isolation ನಲ್ಲಿ ಟೈಪ್ಸ್ ಇದಾವೆ. ಒಂದು ಪ್ರೀ ಝೈಗೋಟಿಕ್, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಝೈಗೋಟಿಕ್ ಅಂತ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೀ ಝೈಗೋಟಿಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ದಿ fertilization will not happen. That is pre-zygotic. You know, zygote is formed only after fertilization. If the events, the barriers, the reproductive things which will prevent the fertilization, so the differences which prevent the fertilization, then we can consider them as pre-zygotic reproductive isolation. Say for example, in the pond, you think of a pond where the frogs live, right? Let us say in that particular pond, in that particular big pond, there are 2 or 3 different species frogs are living, male and female both. You know, frogs show external fertilization. The male and female are going to release the eggs and sperms into the water. Let us assume there are 3 species, right? So this is the pond and A species frog is there, and here you find B species frog and C species frog. Now both male and female exist for the species, all the species. Now just imagine this is the sperm and egg of the A species and the sperm and egg of B species, sperm and egg of C species. Even though they are released in the same area, you can see this is the same pond, and theoretically the sperm of C can go and fertilize the egg of A because they are present in the same pond water. The sperm of B can go and fertilize the egg of C. So something like this, the sperm of A can go and fertilize the egg of B, but nothing like this happens. Why? Because these gametes don't allow the gamete of other species. That means The egg of A species will not allow the sperm of B species to fertilize it. This is called reproductive isolation. Of course, the sperms will approach the egg of other species, but they will not enter into it. They will not fertilize it. So this is called pre-zygotic isolation, right? So this is the example for pre-zygotic isolation. Then post-zygotic. Sometimes what happens, the fertilization occurs, but after the fertilization it will not survive, right? So that is called post-zygotic isolation, right? So that is called post-zygotic. And one more example I can give you for post-zygotic reproductive isolation. Sometimes the fertilization between the gametes of different species will lead to the development of embryo, or sometimes it will lead to the development of individual also, like when the horse and donkey mate, right? Horse and donkey are two different species. When they mate, first of all, they should not mate. The problem is they do not have the physiological reproductive isolation. The horse can mate with donkey, right? Because the copulatory organs, they are not different, and the copulation can happen. And even the sperms are introduced, the eggs are going to get fertilized, the donkey or horse is going to get pregnant, right? And it's going to give birth to a mule, which is neither male or nor female, and it will not reproduce again. So even though it led to the development of an individual, it did not continue as a new species, right? This is called reproductive isolation. Then temporal, right? So temporal means different breeding seasons. Even though the individuals are remaining or living in the same area, they will breed in different seasons. So that may also lead to the isolation, right? So one group breeding in one time of the year and another group breeding in another season of the year. Behavioral, right? Even though the individuals are almost same and there is a chance of interbreeding, due to some behaviors they will not interbreed. So such phenomenon or such factors will isolate, and isolation will lead to speciation, right? You remember here we are talking about the individuals which are almost the same, which have the chance of interbreeding but will not interbreed. Even if they interbreed, there is no survival. And because of these isolation mechanisms, pre-zygotic, post-zygotic, temporal and behavior, even though they had a chance of remaining as a single species, due to this isolation mechanisms, pre-zygotic, post-zygotic, temporal and behavior, they will develop into new species. They will develop into two different species. That is called reproductive isolation. So in this chapter, in a very brief chapter, we studied the two important isolation mechanisms, that is geographic and reproductive isolation mechanisms. So that's all for this particular session. Thank you.